We're in Neisner Road in Willamore. It is really the focus of all mountain bike attention this weekend with the start of the Baviaans race, which is why we're here in Willamore, and hundreds and thousands of mountain bikers. And alongside me is Vickers van der Walt. You know Vickers. Why are we in Willamore? Why did you come here in the first place with this event?
I don't really know, but Willamore is the gateway to Baviaans Kloof. And way back in 2004 when we started it, this is where we started from. And it just worked out very nicely. So, and ever since we've used Willamore as the start venue for the Baviaans.
What has it done for this town? Because there's a lovely vibe, and people who have not been here for the first time come here for the first time and think, wow, there's something magic here.
Yes, as the then mayor of Willamore said to me, this Baviaans is bigger than Christmas in Willamore. So, and I think that sums up what it means to this town. It is such a huge economic injection into this little town over the 2 weekends. I don't know how to determine that.
And the Baviaans Kloof is obviously what it's all about, the Baviaans as they go through to Jeffreys Bay. There's a real magic about riding through there, isn't there?
Oh yes, Baviaans Kloof is a magical place. I mean, it is the biggest wilderness area in South Africa, also World Heritage Site. So from a natural point of view, it is beautiful and a unique place to visit, and even more unique on a bicycle.
Has it changed at all in the time that you've been doing this race?
Not much. The only change in the event is the weather. I mean, that is the biggest unknown factor. So we've had it wet, we've had it dry. This year it's extremely dry. We're experiencing a drought at the moment. So which makes it a completely different challenge than a wet period. So
long queues at registration. You've got double weekends, you've got the race, and you've got the repeat next weekend. Does it surprise you to see so many people coming to take us? Because it is a serious challenge.
Yes, 13 years ago when we started it again, we didn't expect it to grow to what it is today. But it seems like there's plenty of people out there who think the same way I do, and that is to take on a challenge like this, and it's just amazing.
It is certainly. People come back year in and year out to do the Baviaans, and they're all here again to take on this incredible challenge. Thanks, Vickers. We've got a nice, Jamie's giving us a nice trip around Willamore in the donkey cart. It is certainly the place to be here in Willamore ahead of the Baviaans.
Welcome everybody. We're in the registration area here in Willamore, and we would like to wish you all a great race. The route is looking great. We're expecting some really fast times through the Kloof. It's dry and dusty though, so prepare for that. And hopefully you guys will enjoy the views through that area.
Hi guys, Harold here from Polar Heart Rate Monitors. Just to give you some tips for the Baviaans. You guys have come this far. Those of you that have been here before probably know what you're in for. Those that are doing it for the first time, you'll know why you'll come back year after year. So to give you some race tips, the biggest thing about this race is obviously the route, very scenic route, probably the most deceptive route profile in a lot of the races that we've come across. So the first 100 Ks, very important to manage the intensity as you go along, because a lot of the climbing will start in the second half. And obviously, that's where the race will really start.
I'm gonna lose you, like I'm gonna lose you. I'm gonna hold.
Baie wonderlik, is 'n lieflike geleentheid wat Willamore kry. Dis baie fantasties wat ek sal sê.
Wat doen jy as hier staan en vir die mense kyk? Kyk jy net?
Ek kyk net en is vir my 'n groot plesier om net te kyk en te aanskou.
I gonna love you, like I'm gonna lose you.
Dis baie ver en dit moet 'n groot uithou vermoë is, want dit is nie maklik om met 'n fiets so ver te ry nie. So dis baie harde werk daar.
Baviaans tourism, and this is a big day, big thing for Baviaans, the Baviaans tourism, isn't it?
Yes, definitely, especially for our area. It's brilliant to have all these people in Willamore.
Do you at any other time of the year see as many people as this?
Never. Only this weekend and next weekend.
What does it do for the community?
This is very positive for us because, you know, all the businesses in town, everyone here get benefit from all the people coming to town. And yeah, at least it puts us on the map, and now more people will know where's Willamore.
Okay, someone who hasn't done this before, tell them what they can expect in one sentence about the Baviaans Cliff.
For the traveller, the Baviaans Cliff is a very scenic area. For the cyclist, I think it's quite hard. You'll definitely have to practice before you come to the Baviaans Cliff. But for the tourists, brilliant area, absolute scenic, and most of all, friendly people in Willamore and the Baviaans Cliff.
What are you doing here?
It's indemnity form for the people who's riding the bikes to come and fill in the forms at the back and at the front.
Why must they fill it in?
Because we must make sure if they are registered. That's all I know.
We flew in this morning to, where did we go? George, PE.
Okay.
And then just drove in now.
So what is going on over here? Because these bags are very neatly packed.
For now.
But they look, for now.
Yeah. No, we're just getting our stuff ready for registration, so we're going to chuck stuff into the crates that we need to have off there. So.
Hi, how's it? How are you? Where have you come from?
Nice.
Oh, not a far drive. Are you ready for this?
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I think so.
And the rest of your mates in the car?
I don't know. I don't know. It's like. Well, I must put up with this.
Will you make it?
No. We're planning to be first, so we better make it. I mean, you don't get a chassis like this for not training hard.
Yeah, we decided gears are completely overrated, so we left that at home.
Well, I just said maybe it'll be a nice idea for me to do it this year. Krista's done it before on a single speed, and within a week my old bike was converted to a single speed, and then I was doing it. So we've had 6 months of just riding whenever we're riding on the single speed and give it our best shot.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, thank you. No complaints at all. Looking forward to Baviaans.
Why are you looking forward to it?
I know I'm going to be in trouble, so that's why.
What sort of trouble are you going to be in?
Unfit, and legs won't make it, but we've got to do our best. Having a beer along the way, hopefully.
The longest I've ever been in a saddle is 7 hours. We hope to do 12 to 13. So it's complete new territory. From around the top of Bergplaats, that's all virgin territory for all of us. So that scares us.
How do you deal with that?
You train, and when you arrive, that's it. There's nothing you can do, nothing you can change. It is what it is.
Hi guys, Baviaans, as you guys know, this is a team race. It's either 2 riders, 3 riders, or 4 riders together in a team. And the team dynamics makes it quite interesting. The rule is you have to ride with a team member. But if you put your team member under pressure early on, especially in those first 100 kilometers that we've already mentioned, it'll become interesting later on. So if you put them out of their comfort zone, generally their tip will actually be on almost the climbs that the strongest rider rides at the back and doesn't put the other team members out of their comfort zone, making sure that their intensity is appropriate, especially in the first half of the race.
Teresa, you've done this before, you've won it before, in fact last year, so there's a bit of expectation there.
Oh yes, you always come back to try and defend your title. We were having a look at the sheet, the start sheet, but you never know what additions might come along on actual race day. So we're just going to go out there and race our race, and I think we will be strong and just do what I've done every single year during the last 3 races that I've raced.
Okay, so it's not a secret anymore what you've done in the last 3 years. What is the plan?
I think with what is the plan?
Sarah wants to know.
I'm going to make her eat. I think nutrition is key for these long races, and also not to go out too hard and fast in the beginning, because that can eat you up, and the climbs are at the end. So don't blow everything in the tank too early on, and K by K, I suppose.
Yeah, good. Don't really know what to expect. It's 230 Ks. It's pretty long. So Yeah, but I couldn't ask for a better teammate than Tim. He's the record holder, 2 times winner. So yeah, I pretty much do what he does, and he needs to talk me through it.
So what do you tell him, Tim? What's the plan?
Put him on the front, so go, Matt, go. Yeah, I think don't put too much effort into that first 110. There's a lot of guys who get very eager and they set the pace and that. I think if you do that, you're not going to last 8.5 hours. And then, yeah, eating and drinking is incredibly important. And just, yeah, the water is also important for cramping. So, yeah.
8.5 hours, there you have it, Matt.
Yeah, no, it's about 4 hours longer than I usually do, so it's a bit of a challenge. But yeah, basically what I'm just going to have to get used to is you can't fall behind in the eating and the drinking. And obviously now our marathons are so quick, like starting full gas, it's going to be quite a different dynamic actually having to hold back, then only start racing at like, let's say 4 hours. So yeah, we're going to see how it goes, and I think just be patient.
I'm not sure about who we're up against, but really it doesn't matter. I mean, we go as hard as we can, and hopefully it's good enough.
Tell us about your partner.
Well, he's as strong as a beast. I mean, he hurts me, but I'm either stupid or brave. I don't know which one it is. Eh?
Your turn.
Yeah, no, I've got Rory's an awesome partner. We just try to ride as clever as possible and don't burn too many matches before we go up to the main at Bergplaats. Because the first 100K is basically a road race. Sit in the bunch and be smart as possible, and then once you hit the reserve, it starts naturally splitting up. And then, as I said, don't burn too many matches before Bergplaats, because between checkpoint 5 and 6, that's when it starts hurting and it's fast bait. And then just keep going.
Hi, my name is Trevor from Powerbar, and one of our tips for the Baviaans, or any endurance race for that matter, of 10 hours or 12 hours, 14 hours or longer, is to always eat consistently and don't eat too late. That's the simple phrase. And by that we mean when there is food and there is something to be had, rather take it. And know that you might need it only in 5 minutes time, or you might need it only in 10 minutes time. But to go past a water station and not take something, or think that you might not need something when you're not quite hungry, you don't want to eat too late. A lot of people, what they do is they have a little alarm on their bicycle computer or their heart rate monitor, which tells them every hour on the hour that they've got to eat a bar or a gel, or take a mouthful of a drink as an example. But yes, just to keep it consistent.
Have you ridden this before?
No, this is my virgin attempt at Baviaans. I've heard great things. I've done it with a car, but I believe apparently it's worse on a gravel bike.
That is what you're riding. You're riding this gravel bike. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I had a chat with the guys from Momsen, and I believe it's a discipline that needs some attention in South Africa, and I figured we'll give it a go. I've had some strange stares from people that I've heard that I'm doing it on a gravel bike. I don't know what to expect, but I'm really keen to see what the bike's capable of, and to see what the Baviaans has to offer. I think it's people expect it to be worse than it really is. I think it also comes down to bike handling and tire pressure, and it's not all that bad. I think it's faster in a lot of places where other bikes will be slower, especially the climbs and the district roads. For sure, the downhills you'll have to practice caution on the downhills. But yeah, I'm very keen to give it a go. I don't have any apprehension towards the bike. I think it's going to go well. It's built for district roads. It's not a single track race. So I'm really optimistic.
How long are you expecting to spend out there?
I'm riding with a few mates that aren't planning on racing through the water points. So we might have to stop for a beer and a steak along the way. So I don't expect us to duck under 10, 11 hours.
My name's Trevor from Powerbar, and this is one of my tips for the Baviaans for an endurance race of 12 hours or more. And very important is to always ensure that you keep your intensity down so that you absorb the maximum amount of food. and sometimes it's quite a difficult thing to understand, especially if it's if you're in a racing group and it's incredibly hard. You might be racing above your limitations, but you won't be able to absorb the full amount of the nutrition that you've taken, that you've spent good money on, if you are racing at too high an intensity level. So always try and remain at a low enough level so that you're constantly absorbing the good stuff that you've taken along on your journey.
For a front light, you should use as wide a light as possible. The reason being, you won't be traveling in a straight line all the time, and especially shooting down the Big Dipper, shooting around those corners, you want as wide as possible.
What sort of power, what sort of lumens, what were we looking at here?
I would say effective lumen from 1.5 upwards. You can definitely get away with something less, 700 or 800, but you won't be able to travel as fast on those sections.
Now, some like them on the bike, some like them on the helmet, some like them both. What's the thinking there?
There are benefits to both. If you've got them on the handlebar, then while your handlebar is pointing forward, if you have a narrow beam, you won't be able to see around the corners. On the helmet, you can look around the corner, so you can see where you're going. But doing 230 k's with any additional light or weight on your helmet, you will definitely feel it in your neck.
Baviaans, let's make it runs. We want to say to you it's done. Let's Baviaans, let's make it runs. To the day, let's Baviaans, let's make it runs. I want to bring to you my bike. I want you to settle down. I want to sing it all night long. The time is gone, I want to make it happy with you. Oh, this is not the kind of year. You can cycle, you can make it. Whatever you can bring it to your let's Baviaans and make it runs. Ooh, I want to sing to you that song. Let's Baviaans and make it run. All night long, let's Marvin Gaye, let's Baviaans.
Ek is rapper donkie, 'n Kaapse klonkie, my maasie vrou by die modestoel. My paas bestuurde by die diskoteek, verdien my 1.5 per week. My auntie werk by die visfabriek, sulke blanke in die rimmetiek. Kom ons rock and roll die in die jol. Kom jazz Pinocchio, dis Simone. Dis op en vas, los en as.
Baviaans,
Baviaans too.
Let's Baviaans and make it runs. I want to show I ride the bike. Let's Baviaans and make it runs. All day long, let's Marvin Gaye and Larry. Oh, op die kraal op my gitaar.